This is going to be a bit of a different kind of video. But I don't think it's going to be too off, considering that every single video I've ever made on this channel has to do with nostalgia in some way, shape, or form. I was scouring the internet a few days ago when I found a word or a term to describe a thing that I had never thought to prescribe a word to. Liminal spaces. Liminal spaces are a transitional destination, essentially. Places that we've all been to in our day-to-day lives, never observed or even contemplated or thought about in any way. And why would we? These can be places ranging from a train station or a subway, inside a supermarket or a flight of school stairs, the hall leading up to a movie theater bathroom, really anywhere. The only thing that the places I listed have in common is that these places are usually very crowded and they're usually places that we only pass. In reality, these are only temporary places. We're never there for a long time. And so when we see these places abandoned and with nobody in them, it elicits weird feelings. Eerie feelings. Like we've been to this place before, even if we never have. My initial exposure to the concept of liminal spaces came from the Backrooms creepypasta, which was a creepypasta born from this image, the one that I'm displaying now. A lot of people feel weirdly about this image, as if they've been there, even if they never have, an almost strange feeling of nostalgia. Or better put, anemoia. Anemoia is the feeling of nostalgia for a period or something that you never experienced. There are all sorts of reasons why this could happen. A lot of people my age are nostalgic for the 80s and 90s, even though we didn't grow up in these periods. It's almost like the feeling a lot of us get when we watch old 1940s cartoons that we never experienced, obviously. Yet, for some reason, we get this feeling of nostalgia, whether it be second or third hand. Heck, even if it was a cartoon that wasn't made in that time period, but was just made to look like it. But hey, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. We should get back to the back rooms, which are, again, very complicated. The fact that this picture could elicit so many different thoughts and feelings for so many different people, enough to spawn multiple creepypastas, stories, and theories, should really say a lot about just what kind of feelings these types of pictures elicit. On paper, there's nothing really strange about these pictures, nothing peculiar. They're really eerie and kind of weird, but you just can't seem to crack what makes these pictures what they are. There are 4 things that I found all liminal spaces that give off this creepy feeling have in common. There is no obvious story behind the picture. There is no rhyme or reason behind what is going on in the picture. For example, this picture called The End. As you can see, this looks to be an abandoned library, but there's no telling why it's abandoned, why it looks the way it does, or why there's a sign that just says The End. Or, for example, this picture of a seal tank. There's no rhyme or reason behind it, there's no making sense of it. And you can't really point out why this picture is weird, it just is. 2. There are no humans in the picture. The second you drop people into a liminal space, it ceases to be that of a liminal space. For example, if I were to drop Rick Astley and Barney the dinosaur into this picture, it would cease to be a liminal space. Just take a look at this pretty liminal artwork for a second. Creepy, right? Eerie, right? What was the person who made this art thinking? Well, it's all background art for Lego sets. Which brings me to the third thing, which is that there's no clear, obvious focus to the picture. Or put, they're just overwhelming in general. For example, I'm no longer focusing on the space behind them. I am now focusing on Rick Astley and Barney the dinosaur. Also, the fourth thing, these spaces usually have no clear entrance or exit. If there's a door, it's probably really hard to find, or it's really dark and you can't really see it. Or there's just too many doors in general. If you've been on the gaming side of YouTube for more than a few seconds, you probably know a thing or two about Mario 64. And you've probably heard a bunch of creepypastas and theories about this game. Theories ranging from L is real to every single Super Mario 64 copy is personalized to whoever uses it, and therefore no two copies of Mario 64 are the same. But why are there so many creepypastas surrounding this specific Mario game and not, let's say, Super Mario Galaxy? And you might say because it was one of the first 3D games and therefore it's kind of uncanny. Or that the internet wasn't as widespread back then and therefore playground rumors could spread like wildfire. But it's hard to deny that liminal spaces don't play a factor in this game's overall creepy nature. Whether it had to do with hardware restraints or just the fact that the technology was new overall at the time. The game has wide open spaces with very few NPCs. So yeah, overall I don't have much else to say about liminal spaces. I know that this video is a bit different from what I usually make, but definitely go back to making like reviews and stuff after this. Although I really had fun making this video, so I might make more like this in the future.